Assalamualaikum. Today's episode is focused on analyzing problems involving a Carnot refrigerator, specifically determining its coefficient of performance, the amount of heat extracted from the cold reservoir, the work done by the compressor, and the amount of heat expelled in the hot reservoir. How do you compute all these variables? Find out by sticking around. Watch and learn. Basically, a refrigerator is a heat engine performing in reverse. According to the second law of thermodynamics, heat flows spontaneously from a hot body to a cold body. A refrigerator, however, reverses this direction of the heat flow. It can take heat in from a cold reservoir and rejects heat to a hot reservoir. Of course, with the compressor doing work on the refrigerator. The motor in the compressor compresses the refrigerant, also known as the freon gas, into a pressure of several atmospheres. Then, this gas is cooled to near room temperature, all right, which then condenses into liquid of high pressure. It is at the condenser where heat is expelled into the hot reservoir or the surrounding. The liquid refrigerant goes to the evaporator. This is inside the refrigerator. And then uh, the gas evaporates due to its low pressure. And heat is absorbed from the contents of the refrigerator, right? The gas that is produced has already absorbed heat, okay? We'll now go back to the compressor so that the cycle now repeats. So, question number one, a Carnot refrigerator has a cold reservoir at negative 10.0 degrees Celsius and a hot reservoir at 25.0 degrees Celsius. Question letter A, what is its coefficient of performance? And question letter B, how much work input does this refrigerator require to remove 4.00 times 10 to the 6 joules of heat from the cold reservoir? So in problem number one, we're given the temperature in the cold reservoir, denoted here by capital T sub C. This is the temperature inside the refrigerator, and it is equal to negative 10.0 degrees Celsius, or that's equivalent to 263 Kelvin. Also, the temperature outside, all right, the refrigerator uh, more commonly called the temperature of the hot reservoir, and that's denoted by capital T sub H equal to 25.0 degrees Celsius, or that's equivalent to 298 Kelvin. Likewise, you're given the amount of heat, all right, capital Q sub C. This is the heat that is taken in from the cold reservoir. And that is equal to 4.00 times 10 to the 6th power joules. And for letter A, we're asked to find what they call as the coefficient of performance of the refrigerator. All right. So we just represent that by its acronym COP. All right. This so-called coefficient of uh, performance of the freezer is our way of describing the effectiveness, all right, of the freezer in extracting heat from the cold reservoir. So in a way, it is a substitute for the efficiency of the machine. All right, it is more practical and more sensible to consider the coefficient of performance of a cooling system such as a refrigerator or a freezer rather than talk about its efficiency. All right. And the other target variable is the amount of work or work input. And we label that here as the absolute value of W. All right. We are only interested in the magnitude of the work input. This is the work done uh, by the compressor of the refrigerator. All right. So the formula that we're going to use in computing COP, all right, is just to divide the temperature T sub C by the difference in the hot temperature minus the cold temperature, or TH minus TC, right? So since TH is greater than TC, all right, we expect the value for the coefficient of performance to be greater than 1. And this is the appropriate formula for determining COP, in as much as both the temperature in the cold reservoir and the temperature in the hot reservoir are given. And for computing the work input, that's in letter B, the formula will also be based on the other formulas for finding the COP, such as this one. All right, dividing the amount of heat extracted from the cold reservoir, or capital Q sub C, by the amount of work input. All right, as soon as we have the value for COP, then we can easily find the work input. All right, so that would give us the working formula for the work input, all right, equal to the amount of heat extracted from the cold reservoir divided by the coefficient of performance of the fridge. Another formula for finding the COP is in terms of the amount of heat, all right, extracted from the cold reservoir and the amount of heat that is expelled into the hot reservoir, or Q sub C divided by Q sub H minus Q sub C. considering only the magnitudes. All right. And moving on to our computations, for question letter A, the coefficient of performance of the refrigerator, okay, is determined by dividing the temperature of the cold reservoir by the difference of the temperature in the hot reservoir and the temperature in the cold reservoir. That is 263 Kelvin divided by 298 Kelvin minus 263 Kelvin. So when you do our math, we find the coefficient of performance of the refrigerator equal to 7.51. Alright? So this value of the coefficient of performance is relatively high. Alright? Most typical refrigerators have coefficient of performance ranging between 2 and 3. Now, since we already have this value for the coefficient of performance of the refrigerator, we can now proceed in computing the required work that the compressor has to perform. Right? That is for question letter B. And we just divide the value of QC, 4.00 times 10 to the 6 joules, by 7.51. Again, doing our math, we will get the magnitude of the work done by the motor in the compressor equal to 5.33 times 10 to the 5th joules. In our last question, question number 2, a freezer has a coefficient of performance of 2.40. The freezer is to convert 1.80 kilogram of water at 25.0 degrees Celsius to 1.80 kilograms of ice at negative 5.0 degrees Celsius in a time of 1 hour. So question letter A, what amount of heat must be removed from the water at 25.0 degrees Celsius to convert it to ice at negative 5.0 degrees Celsius? And question letter B, how much electrical energy is consumed by the freezer during this hour? And question letter C, how much wasted heat is delivered to the room in which the freezer sits? In problem number 2, we are given the value of the coefficient of performance of the freezer, all right, COP equal to 2.40. The freezer is to convert 1.80 kilograms of liquid water initially at temperature T0 of 25.0 degrees Celsius. All right. So this amount of ice, water will be converted to ice at a final temperature capital T equal to negative 5.0 degrees Celsius in a time of 1.0 hour. Okay. So the first target variable for letter A is the heat taken in from the cold reservoir, denoted by capital Q sub C. And this is also the amount of heat extracted from water in order to convert it into ice. The second target variable is the amount of electrical energy, denoted here by capital E, that is consumed by the freezer during the 1 hour period. And for letter C, the third target variable is capital Q sub H. This is the amount of wasted heat that is delivered to the room in which the freezer sits. In other words, this is the heat that will be expelled into the hot reservoir. So, we will be using the following equations or formula in determining these variables. For capital Q sub C, okay, it's going to be determined by using this formula. All right. The first term in this formula, mass of the water multiplied by its specific heat and its change in temperature, will be denoted later on in our computations as Q sub 1. All right. So this pertains to the amount of heat that is extracted from liquid water in order for its temperature, 25.0 degrees Celsius, to drop to 0 degrees Celsius. The second term, all right, which will be denoted later as Q sub 2, this represents the amount of heat extracted from water, okay, in order for the water to freeze, all right, or to turn into ice at 0 degrees Celsius. So this is simply the product of the mass, the same mass of 1.80 kilogram, and multiplied by a constant known as the latent heat of fusion of ice. And the last term, MIC delta T, this will be denoted later by Q sub 3. And this represents the amount of heat extracted from ice, all right, in order for it to lower its temperature from 0 degrees Celsius to negative 5.0 degrees Celsius. So we just multiply the mass of the ice by its specific heat, which incidentally is different from that of liquid water. And of course, multiplying it by delta T, the change in temperature as it drops from 0 degrees Celsius to negative 5.0 degrees Celsius. So when all of these terms are added, that would be the total amount of heat that will be taken in from the cold reservoir, denoted by capital Q sub C. And for question letter B, how much is the amount of electrical energy that will be consumed by the freezer, denoted here by capital E? All right. So this amount of electrical energy consumed by the freezer is just equal to the work done by the freezer. All right. Or in other words, by the compressor. It is the compressor of the freezer that actually does the work on the freezer. So that is labeled as W, which incidentally explained earlier, the work done by the compressor is just equal to capital Q sub C, or the heat, all right, taken from the cold reservoir, divided by the coefficient of performance of the freezer, right? And for capital Q sub H, the amount of wasted heat delivered to the room where the freezer sits, all right? Or the amount of wasted heat delivered to the hot reservoir, all right? That will just be computed by adding capital Q sub C and the ratio of capital Q sub C over the coefficient of performance of the freezer, which refers to the work done by the compressor. All right, moving on to our computation. For question letter 8, finding the value of capital Q sub C, which is just the sum of Q1, Q2, and Q3, right? So, capital Q sub C is just equal to the mass of the liquid water times its specific heat and the change in temperature delta T. That's actually Q sub 1. And then Q sub 2, which is the mass of water that will be converted to ice, all right, at 0 degrees Celsius, all right? So the mass of the water would just be multiplied by the constant, the latent heat of fusion of ice. And the last term, Q sub 3, which is the product of the mass of the ice times its specific heat and its change in temperature delta T, all right? Or, when we substitute all the given data, starting with Q sub 1, we have 1.80 kilogram times the specific heat of liquid water equal to 4,184 joules per kilogram per Celsius degree. And then the delta T, which is 0 minus 27 degrees Celsius. So that gives us a delta T of negative 27 Celsius degree, right? And when we do our math, we will be getting the value for Q sub 1 equal to negative 2.03 times 10 to the fifth power joules. The negative sign here simply indicates that the system, which in this case is the substance water, right, actually liberated this amount of energy, right? And conventionally, if a system liberates heat, okay, the sign of Q is negative. All right. So for Q sub 2, that is equal to 1.80 kilogram. All right. This is the mass of water that's going to freeze. All right. The latent heat of fusion for ice is 3.36 raised to the fifth power joules per kilogram. Take note, during this phase change, the temperature remains constant at 0 degrees Celsius. All right? So multiplying these values of the mass and the latent heat of fusion gives us the value of Q2 equal to negative 6.05 raised to the fifth power joules. Again, it's negative because the system also liberates the heat to the surrounding. Right? That is the meaning of the negative Q. And for the last term, Q sub 3. Right? The mass of the frozen water or the ice, which is still 1.80 kilogram, all right, multiplied by the specific heat of ice, 2090 joules per kilogram per Celsius degree. And then, of course, the change in temperature, delta T here is final minus initial. So the final is negative 5 degrees Celsius minus 0. That's how we got negative 5.0 Celsius degree. Again, doing our math, we will get the value of Q sub 3 also equal to negative 0.188 raised to the 5th power joules. Right? So, when all of this Q1, Q2, and Q3 are added, then we will get the value of capital Q sub C equal to negative 8.27 times 10 to the 5th power joules. So this is the amount of heat given off by the substance water when the freezer converts it into ice at negative 5.0 degrees Celsius. The whole process of converting liquid water starting from 27 degrees Celsius, converting it to ice at negative 5.0 degrees Celsius took a time of 1 hour. Right? So within 1 hour, the freezer is able to convert the liquid water into ice. By extracting, okay, by extracting this amount of heat, all right, 8.27 times 10 to the 5th power joules. That represents the amount of heat in the cold reservoir, right? So, the role of the freezer is just like that of a Carnot refrigerator, of course. That is, to reverse the direction of the heat flow instead of the heat, okay, flowing from a hot body to a cold body, right? What happens is that the heat is transferred from a cold body, a cold reservoir that is inside the freezer, all right, where the temperature is much lower compared to the outside temperature, right? So when the freezer extracts thermal energy or heat from a cold reservoir and delivers it to a body of a higher temperature, which is the room or outside the freezer, we are in effect saying that the freezer is doing the reverse spontaneous transfer of thermal energy, which is commonly what is happening in a typical heat engine. All right? So here, we are illustrating the reverse function of a heat pump, such as a freezer or a refrigerator. Of course, this is not possible without the compressor or the motor of the compressor doing the work, all right, on the freezer or on the refrigerator. Okay. The reverse direction of the energy transfer is made possible because there is an outside agent doing the work, and that is the motor in the compressor. All right, so for question letter B, computing the amount of electrical energy denoted by capital E here, this is the amount of electrical energy consumed by the freezer. And we said that it is just equal to the amount of work done by the compressor in the freezer, which incidentally is also equal to the amount of capital Q sub C divided by the coefficient of performance of the freezer. So that is equal to 3.45 raised to the fifth power joules. And lastly, computing the amount of heat or wasted heat that is delivered to the room where the freezer sits, denoted here by capital Q sub H, or the heat that is expelled in the hot reservoir. All right? So that can be determined using this formula, capital Q sub C plus the ratio of capital Q sub C over the coefficient of performance, the freezer, which is just the amount of work done by the compressor. All right? So that would mean capital Q sub H equals 8.27 times 10 to the fifth joules plus um, the ratio Q sub C over coefficient of performance, or 8.37 raised to the fifth power joules divided by 2.40. Simplifying, that would be 8.27 times 10 to the fifth joules plus 3.45 raised to the fifth power joules. All right? So 3.45 raised to the fifth represents the amount of electrical energy consumed by the freezer. And finally, adding these two quantities, we get the value of capital Q sub H equal to 11.7 raised to the power, or to the fifth power joules, right? Which, when expressed in its scientific notation, of course, that will be equal to 1.17 times 10 to the 6th power joules. All right? And it's obvious that more energy is actually wasted or expelled into the surrounding, okay, compared to the amount of heat that is extracted, okay, from the content of the freezer. All right? We also say that the coefficient of performance of the freezer is just related to its efficiency. We say that the higher the coefficient of performance of the freezer, the higher the efficiency of the freezer would be. All right? But for heat pumps and cooling systems like this freezer and air conditioners, it is more practical and sensible to use uh, the coefficient of performance rather than using the value for the efficiency. All right? Because if you're going to calculate or compute for the efficiency, it's going to be greater than 1. All right? If we will base it on the conceptual meaning of efficiency, which is the amount of capital Q sub C, or the amount of heat that is extracted from the cold reservoir, okay, if you divide that by the amount of work done by the freezer, all right, we'll come up with a number that is much greater than 1. So it's not quite sensible, okay, to use the value for the efficiency. But instead, we just make use of the coefficient of performance of a freezer such as what we just discussed. So that concludes my lecture. Till the next episode, mabuhay, mashallah. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow me in my FB page, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.